everyone, my name is Cora.
My name is Simeon.
This is Baby Kay. She's been a bun cooking in the oven for the last 6 months. We got another 3 months to go. And we are the S and the K in SK Dancesport.
All right, in today's video, we're gonna talk about alignments. Now this could be boring for some people, and I understand, but we thought, hey, it's a great opportunity to study something and learn it in great detail. So here are some alignments, line of dance, against line of dance, all the details you need to know. Definitely take a look at this video and try to figure out exactly how you dance your routine and what your alignments are.
By the way, guys, just a quick little shameless plug here. Do remember to hit that subscribe button, that bell notification down there. If you like the video, leave us a comment and follow us on our other social media platforms. We are on Instagram at sk_dancesport.com. We're also on Twitter, SK Dancesport, LinkedIn, SK Dancesport, and you can always visit us on our blog, www.skdancesport.com.
So, at level 1, alignments are not super critical, but sometimes knowing the correct alignments on the floor can help you navigate around corners, navigate around other couples, and in some cases, if you don't do enough turn on one part of the step, the next part of the step is going to be more difficult for you. So we're going to start to introduce you to what we call alignments. Okay, it can be a little bit confusing, but I'll try to do it a little bit more simply. So we're going to start with a couple of very simple alignments. I'm going to give you kind of the simple verbiage, and I'll give you the official verbiage the way it's in the technique book, just in case you hear it from somebody else, you don't get confused. So the first one is, if I, as a gentleman, I'm facing in the direction I'm going to be traveling. So the direction of travel, we call that line of dance. If you imagine you're on a race car track, this is, these dances came from England, so they go against, basically go counterclockwise. But if you're on a track and you're going to be racing counterclockwise, I am facing down the track. This we call facing line of dance. Okay? My partner is going to be facing me, so she is backing line of dance. So if I was doing this direction, my back was to the line of dance, I would be backing line of dance. Okay? Now, if I do 1/8 or a pizza slice to the right, so if I just do 1/8 of a turn to my right, now I'm facing what we call facing diagonal wall. So that's the official verbiage. But basically, I'm diagonal to this wall that's on my right side. If I do the opposite, I turn 1/8 to my left, now officially this alignment is called, in the technique book, it's called facing diagonal center. Because this is the center line of the floor, okay, where the camera is, and I'm facing diagonal to that line. So I come back to my original position, facing line of dance. Now I'm going to turn, instead of 1/8, I'm going to turn 1/4 to my right. And so now I'm facing the wall. Literally, the wall that's here on the long side, I'm facing the wall. Therefore, we call that facing wall. Okay, if I do the opposite, I have to do a turn to the left 1/4. Now I'm facing the center line of the floor. We call that facing center. So not facing diagonal center, but facing center. Okay, so it's kind of pretty straightforward. The terminology is not too bad. Now for the lady, let's take a look at the same alignments. Basically, they'll be, instead of facing, the lady will be backing.
All right, so as Simeon was saying, we travel counterclockwise when we go around the floor. But, especially at level 1, we spend most of our time facing our partner, especially if we're doing our really basic steps. So, if the man is facing down the line of dance, we have our back to the line of dance, which means we are backing line of dance. Now, this is where this other set of alignments gets a little bit confusing, because if we're backing line of dance and we're traveling that direction, we call it backing line of dance. But what if we're backing line of dance but traveling up the floor, so against the flow? We would use this in the second half of our box step. So if I'm going 1, 2, 3, on 4, I'm stepping against the flow. Well, in that case, we call it against line of dance, yeah? And we can be facing against line of dance, which is what we are doing on our second half of the box. The man is backing against line of dance. His back is traveling up the floor. It means he's traveling against line of dance, okay? Now we have those same ideas on the diagonals as well, yeah? So if the man is facing diagonal wall and traveling that direction, that means that we are backing diagonal wall. We can also be facing, if we're traveling that way, so if we're traveling there, we can also be facing diagonal center against line of dance, yeah? Same thing on the other way. So if the man now does his eighth of a turn that direction, so we do our eighth of a turn, there. Now the man is facing diagonal center, so what do you think we're doing? We're backing diagonal center, yes? If we're traveling that direction, for whatever reason, it does happen, then we are facing diagonal wall against line of dance. So essentially what it comes down to is that if we're traveling backwards, then we call our alignment backing. If we're traveling forwards, we call our alignment facing, yeah? If we're moving down the floor, then it's just called line of dance, diagonal wall, diagonal center. Wall and center are always there, yeah? If we're traveling up the floor, it's against. So we're traveling against diagonal wall, against line of dance, or against diagonal center. And again, the same thing. If the man is facing wall, then what do you think we're doing? We're backing wall. If the man is facing center, we're backing center. Yeah, so that's really all it comes down to. It might take a little bit of time to really get those alignments down, but once you do, it's gonna make understanding how we navigate around the floor so much easier. So go back and replay this section as many times as you need to until you feel like you really understand these alignments.
One little note about alignments. This is where it can be confusing when you take lessons from different teachers, and especially when you watch people dance. When we talk about alignments in the technique book, it always refers to the feet, okay? So if my feet are pointing line of dance, we'll say this is facing line of dance, okay? Now, my face could be this way, I'm still facing line of dance. My face is not going down the line of dance, but because my feet are, I'm facing line of dance. So from here, if I do a 90-degree turn in my feet to the left, we would say that I have turned 1/4 to the left, okay? But what if I was already there with my body, okay, and I just turn and I keep my body there, I still turn 1/4 to the left. So when you're thinking of turn, when you hear turn, most of the time, especially from a technical perspective, we're talking about how much turn the feet are doing and in what alignment the feet are. So sometimes you hear us saying, my feet are pointing line of dance, but my body is somewhere else, okay? Another term that we use to talk about rotation. Rotation and turn can seem kind of synonymous, but in dancing they're kind of different. Turn usually refer to the feet, how much turn the feet do. Rotation is in the body, okay? Some people switch it up. And rotation in the upper body relative to the feet, we call that CBN. Contra body movement is one way we describe that. So how my upper body moves as I do these steps could be very different than how my feet are turning. So think about this, just so you're not confused. You watch somebody, wow, they turned to the right, but there was no turn. Like in a feather step, I might turn my body to the right, but my feet are continuing to go forward. So when you look at the technique book, you'll say, no turn. Whereas you see the dancer go, wait a second, they turn to the right. So it could be a little bit confusing, but I just want you to think about, in general terms, when we talk about turn, we just mean the feet. Now, we don't want you to be worried about alignments. Plenty of good dancers get around the floor and lead very well, ladies follow really well, without knowing their alignments. They don't know diagonal wall, they don't know the terminology. So it's perfectly fine. But we thought we should give you all the information in case you want to play it again and you want to educate yourself on the terminology as it is in the technique book. But again, you don't need it to be a successful dancer.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We hope you liked the video. This little excerpt was actually part of a larger course. We have a bunch of courses for sale on our Vimeo channel. You can head on over there. Our channel site is vimeo.com/channels/Aria Ballroom. right across there. Our ballroom, for your reference, is our studio. We are based in Redmond, Washington. Yeah, always open to help you guys out. Feel free to send us an email. Let us know how you're liking our videos. We'd love to give you guys some more help in the future. And we will see you guys next time.
Little note for why it's called Redmond, Washington. Red light waves all the time. We don't know why. It'll never be called Greenville. Wait. Greenman.
It's not even Redville.
Greenman. It'll never be Greenman.